Hello, everyone. Hey, it's Happy Wednesday. I'm back. I am back to give you an update on the Nolan Wells case. Okay, so I have not been doing my regular programming because this has really been on my heart. It really has. It's been on my heart. Um, and I just think that, there's a lot of people watching this case, and some of these terms and things that they're talking about will kind of irritate some of us, and you just skip on to the next thing. And I don't want that to happen to Nolan Wells. So let me break this down simply so y'all can understand. Okay, let's talk about Ben Crump. Ben Crump is an attorney for the NAACP that is representing this family, the Wells family. So his press release this morning had 4 key points that was interesting. So first, I want to say I'm glad that they did this examination outside of the state of Mississippi, in addition to the one they've already done, because it clears up a lot of skepticism about what has occurred. I even got skeptical for a while, and so we got to be careful with that, because we don't want to feed or encourage any negative light on this case that don't belong to be there. Okay, so I know we're talking about it on our jobs, we're talking about it at school, we're talking about it when we go shopping, we're talking about it on the phone with our families, we just talking to everybody. Okay, we all spectating, watching what's going on, what the get down is. Okay, so let me break this down for you. So Ben Crump says that a thorough examination has been conducted by anthropologist Roger Mitchell. He's supposed to be the best. Okay, if I'm wrong, I missed something, I got something, I took some notes, I'm hoping that I got it all correct. If I messed up, please let me know. Put it in the comments. I like constructive criticism, and I want to give y'all facts, and I don't want to be giving you the wrong information, but I'm pretty sure that's what he said. I took notes on the interview that he did, to the press release that he did today. So he says that a thorough examination of Nolan Wells' body, a thorough preliminary examination of Nolan's body has been completed. Okay, so let's talk about preliminary. A preliminary examination of the body is a visual examination of the body, of what's going on with that they could see and investigate. So there was 2 done. The state of Mississippi did 1, and Mr. Roger Mitchell completed 1 as well. Okay, so what he did was he checked everywhere on that body. He checked the tissues of his buttocks. He checked the tissues of his legs. He checked the tissues of his arm. He examined that entire body. He found no broken bones, nothing on his body that appeared to look like he had been beat or hit or jumped on. However, the condition of the body was still intact, but of course, it's been time for the body to decompose and so forth. And so there could have been bruises, but that can't be visible now. That's why it's very important to do a full examination of that body, a preliminary examination of that body. Then there's other tests that they do after that. That's why they call it a preliminary examination. Why? Because this is the initial examination, and then after that, this other examination, there may be blood tests, blah, 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 visa, okay? After that. Testing for alcohol, testing to see if there's water had been in the body, if he drowned, and all of that. All of that, you know, they got to look at all the different tests before they make a complete final analysis and summarize about how this person came to be unalived. Okay, so I'm confident. You know, if you haven't watched the program, I have put it in my playlist, and it is available to my viewers and subscribers for you to go back and check the video. I try to do that so you can look back, but also you also have to be objective in what videos you're watching on my playlist that you're allowed to see, because some of them have a lot of speculation in there, some speculations, but I try to put all the information. I did my best to put all the information factual. I mean, I want facts. I want professionals. I want the judge, the attorney, the coroner, the whomever, you know, the Coast Guard, people who are professionals and giving out facts. Because I don't want to be a part of spreading lies that may come into something. So if you say something, if you have a hunch about something, or you speculate about anything, we need to say that this is a speculation. This did not happen. This is not being confirmed. Nobody said this. This is just my opinion. Okay. So our second key point is when he examined the head, he found a 12-inch red area in the back of his head. Okay. 12-inch red area in the back of his head. Okay. For us, let me give it to you straight. A bruise. They found a bruise in the back of the baby's head. Okay, so he got a bruise in the back of the head. Okay, so they found a bruise. The second key point they said in this press release was the neck had been removed and could not be examined and was being held by the state of Mississippi. The state of Mississippi's medical examiner. Okay, so let's say this. They didn't cut the boy's neck off and send his neck dismembered from the body. Because when they first said that, I was looking, I said, now that's some cold shit. You didn't cut my baby. I didn't have to put my baby in the ground without a neck on his head. Okay, so that's not what it is. That means they removed a bone in his throat, his esophagus. It wasn't just a bone; it's an esophagus. That's where your they're saying bone in these press neck off, and some of these shows they saying a bone out of his neck. Let me give it to you. I worked in the medical field. I'm not no expert, but I can name the different parts of the brain, the eyes, the fingers, the toes, the whole thing. I can give you medical terminology. So what they removed out of his neck was his esophagus. Okay. If he removed the bone, there's something in the front of that neck they removed. They can tell them if there was water in the body, if he drank water, or, you know, if his neck had been broken, if he'd been choked. Okay, so the state medical examiner knows this. Okay, so they're going to do a thorough investigation. They're going to drug test and everything. They're going to rule everything out because they want to know, was this an accident? Okay? Wasn't an accident. And if it was an accident, had he fell off the boat and hurt himself? Was he out in the water and hurt? Something happened. Now, this bruising on the back of his head may have been caused, they say, and they're just speculating because the examination can't be completed and determined, but there's a great possibility that it could have just came from the decomposing of the body because the water was warm and that he floated up. This is the stuff I've been hearing. Now, this is, because of the conditions of the water. So we have all kind of stuff out there, okay? So let's stick to the facts. So the doctor Roger Mitchell's could not make a determine. He did a complete body examination of the body with what was given to him, but he could not rule out that he drowned or if foul play was involved. Okay. So down to the third point. Oh, I got it. I covered it already when I said that the neck, the portion of his neck was removed. So now we're going to get to the fourth one. Oh, I already did that one too. I'm just rolling along here. Okay. So if you don't know what foul play means, that means murder. Okay. And like I said, when they talk about removing the neck, they ain't talking about he cut his head, dismembered his head from his body and took the neck from that. No, they didn't do that. It sounds, but that's not what happened. So there you go. Simple terms, easy to understand. Thorough examination was done. They found that he had a bruise in the back of his head. Dr. Roger Mitchell, anthropology, anthropology. The anthropologist could not determine if it was blunt force injury or if it was a bruise from being in the water, the blood collected there, or what was going on. He was not able to make that determination. Okay, so that's the missing piece. So attorney Don Crump with the NAACP is requesting that this report be added to the medical examiner's report for the state of Mississippi and be presented to a grand jury. He also is requesting that portion of Mr. Nolan Wells' neck be sent to the medical examiner, Roger Mitchell. Okay, so the parents can get some transparency about what's going on and know how their son passed, what happened. Okay, so that tells me they don't know yet. Okay, so it's going very slow, to be honest with you. When my son passed, I had to wait for an autopsy to be completed because after he went to the coroner, they had to determine the cause of death, and that's the information they have to put on the death certificate. Did you hear me though? Did you hear me? Okay. So that's a gray area in itself right there. The information that the coroner That's what we call them in California, medical examiner, coroner, whatnot. After he has determined the cause of death, he gives that information over to the city so that they can create a death certificate. Okay? So she probably doesn't have the death certificate yet, but it took a week. My son passed, and it took a week. I had to wait. They had already made a preliminary, in 24 hours, they had did a preliminary examination of the body. So they could tell me that he got hit by a car, but they couldn't tell me the extent of the injuries, what injuries caused his death, blah blah blah. So that took a week for them to complete the entire investigation, entire examination of the body. They had to do drug tests. They had to do a lot of different things because, we had the guy that hit my son. He was arrested the same night. It was a hit and run. The license plate came off and was left there with my son's body on the street, and strangers pulled my son's body out of the road so when we continued to hit by cars. He wasn't entirely in the street, but he had just about made it. He was on his bike, and he had just made it to the curb. So, I don't want to take away from what we're talking about, Nolan, but I'm just I'm relating to the situation, and I'm trying to give you a little idea of what I went through. So it took a week. 24 hours for the preliminary test, examination of the body, and when my son passed and they declared him unalive, he immediately was transported to the coroner's office, where a preliminary examination was done within 24 hours. Okay. Now, they cannot release the body. Come on now. Real talk. Real talk. Now, I'm gonna give it to you real now. You know I'm gonna give it to you straight. You heard me? So they cannot release the body to be buried without the death certificate. Okay? Because the body would still be held as evidence. Now, in a crime, and they still examine the casket was closed, and the title did not say funeral service, it said memorial service. So I don't know. So now I got some questions. Now this is just my opinion, and I'm about to do some speculating right here. So my first speculation is if he got a bruise in the back of his head, and he was last seen somewhere in these conversations going back and forth through social media. At some point, he was in the water with the rest of them. He was in the water with them. thinking, how if there, and look at him. I'm wondering if his neck, if he got a forced blunt injury to the back of his head so bad that it broke his neck. Maybe he got it. So that's what I'm just speculating. This ain't what's being said. I'm just speculating. I'm trying to think. As close as them boys would sit on that boat and all up under it, it just don't seem like to me they would intentionally do anything to hurt him because you all ugly them now. You got some fakers now. You do have some fakers now. I don't know. Yeah. Do have some fakers out there who know how to fake real good. But I'm just gonna give them the benefit of the doubt. Okay? I'm just not a believer that everybody's pure evil in the world. Somebody got to be right. So, do you think? I mean, let me know in the comments if you happen to come across this video. Just let me know in the comments. I promise you, I'll come back and I'll answer you. I'm just curious what other people think. Do you think maybe? Even I'm looking at all those people in the water and all those boats are all docked close together and everything. You think maybe he could have been in the water, standing in the water with other people, like they're kind of hanging out in the shallow water along the coastline of the island? Do you think maybe he was out there socializing in that shallow water and somebody backed that boat up, or was turning that boat and he was in the vicinity of that, and then he got hit, the boat then hit him in the back of the head, and now he's in the water. But then if that had happened, I'm sure he's not standing around in the water by himself. Somebody would have seen. I said, well, maybe he got hit in the head while he's in shallow water. And that's how that happened. So that's just a speculation, but that's a far-fetched speculation. I don't know. What y'all think? I'm leaning more towards maybe he drowned. Maybe he drowned. Maybe a boat hit him, or somebody had an accident, accidentally hit him with the boat and broke his neck, and he died. And they tried to cover it up because they were scared about what was going to happen to him. Or maybe he was hollering for his phone, and when they was telling him to get the fuck off the boat, okay, I heard that. If that was him, and you said you screaming and hollering him, and he won't give him his phone, and you cussing him and telling him get the fuck off the boat, or somebody saying get the fuck off the boat. Is it possible that a fight broke out and he hit his head while a fight broke out and he broke his neck and killed him, and they tried to he hit his head on that boat? And broke his neck and they tried to kill him? I mean, they tried to cover it up? I don't know. That just sounds so cruel. I don't want to speculate, but I just hope that's not what happened. I really feel for this mother, and I know she just won't answer how he died, and she wants them to treat her son's body with respect. Any mother would want answers. I'm a mother. I lost my son. I just want answers. That's all I want to know. I want to know. And I feel for her. I know I don't feel her pain in her situation towards her son because it's not my child. But I do know what it feels like to lose your child and want answers. And ain't nobody giving them to you. So, and when you don't feel that a thorough investigation has been done and somebody make a decision on something, you can go before the police department and file a complaint that you don't feel a thorough investigation was done. And then they have to make a decision from that point and whether they agree with you or not. And if they don't, it don't really matter. You just need a piece of paper so you can file a civil lawsuit. And I really truly believe that had not Mr. Don Crump with the NAACP and all of the media information, all the media play and social media play that they got going on out there about this case, and he wasn't the only. Somebody else's son died too that day with similar circumstances. But there was an arrest, and this individual tampered with it and hide it and get rid of evidence because apparently he had something to do with it, was scared or something, and was trying to get, keep from getting in trouble. But yeah, I want to know. So this, they say, can take weeks and 6 months and 3 to 4 to 6 weeks. It don't take that long. It don't take that long. It don't take that long. If you could drug test me on a state job and determine whether I have drugs in my system, and if so, I'm fired on the spot. So you tell me why it's taking that long for some blood tests to get done. I just want to know. That's a simple question. I just had to ask it because I've been drug tested randomly for years with the state of Louisiana while I was working. And they could fire you on the spot. So I don't want to hear nothing about it take no 6 weeks or it could be 6 months down the road for more testing. Blood tests. What else you gonna do? They already got the boys a portion of his throat and testing on it right now. Y'all know what's happening. And why is it going to take that long? Why is it going to take that long for you to do the blood test? That should have been the first thing you did. In a preliminary examination, Mississippi State coroner, medical examiner. So I'm sorry, there's some BS popping off here somewhere. And I think if I were to make a logical, fair sign-ups on that, I would say they're being very careful of the information that they release to the public because it's such a high profile case. They don't know what to, they don't know, they gotta let people kind of cool off a little bit. Let it all sink in, give it to you a little bit by a little bit. But we got to just stay tuned. Let's see what's up. Let's see what's gonna happen. Y'all stay tuned. Peace out. This is Real Talk. Sugar T hollering at you right now. Come on. I need y'all to like and subscribe this video. If you see it, I don't care if you see it 2 months later, 3 months later, hit like and subscribe. Peace, be blessed, and more blessed. Be safe. Get Life 360 on your phone. Remember we talked about that. And get you one of them little Apple things like what I got, so you can track. So it's so funny. I'm gonna tell y'all this, and then I'm gonna peace out on you for real. Real talk. Mama called me today and said, "Baby, tell me what's the name of that app that Nolan Wells' mama had. Where I get that from?" My mama's 76 years old. And I said, well, I told her what to do. She said, because my mother's going to be visiting, going into Canada. And you know, Canada now, you got to have a passport to get in there. She said, I think I need to put that app on there so you can monitor me wherever I'm going. I said, okay. And my mom associates with everybody. She loves everybody. She has Hispanic friends, white friends, and she be with them all. And she's the only little black woman there. Okay, and so she said, I think I need to put that app on my phone. I wanted to say, Mama, them little old white women ain't just do nothing. But what they gonna do? She said she just don't want. I just think I need. Okay. Oh my God. Peace out, y'all. Stay out of trouble. Stay tuned. Look at the facts. Don't speculate too much because your mind starts going all over the place. But just keep his name ringing. Let's keep talking about what's happening in our communities with our children, and let's support one another. And let's do it. We could do this. We could do this. Okay, we could do this. If we can get on YouTube and send GoFund money and all kind of money helping other people in other countries, just spread some of that love at home. Don't be so hateful and grudging hearted that you would. If you don't give nothing but $1, I know there's at least 1 million black folks here in the United States or more. Okay, so if everybody give $1, there's somebody get out there and start a foundation or something for representation for kids like this, and that'll stop a lot of shit that's going on. Because you see, ain't nobody gonna do it for us. We at the mercy of organizations that have been around here for hundreds of years to help us, and the mercy of somebody giving some money and hope that they would help us. Because like I said, the last time I was hollering at y'all, it's a lot of people going through that and they don't have that kind of support. Okay, who still have not healed and grieved properly because and got out of their grief because they have unresolved cases. Okay, I have a very good friend here in Louisiana. Her son was shot 17 times and they still haven't found his murderer. Okay, in her house while she was gone. So it's a lot going on, y'all. You know, it's a lot of people that and grief haven't gotten over their grief, and the loss of a child is a different kind of pain, and you wouldn't really truly understand unless you experienced. So I'm passionate about it. I've been talking about it, touching on it a little bit, and I'm gonna keep on talking about it. I'm not gonna stop talking about it. I'm gonna bring it up. I'm gonna put it in your face. I don't care how you get tired of me talking about it. I'm gonna keep talking about it. I'm not gonna stop talking about it. Anybody else I find out that's going through something, I'm gonna talk about it, and I'm gonna keep it going because we really need to keep the narrative out there and let them know we're not going to just sit back and let y'all do anything to us anymore. We're just not going to do it. So you're going to have to make some changes. Okay. And like they say, well, it's not all white tees. It's not all white tees. It's some white tees. Well, I'm here to tell you it ain't enough white tees who's not doing it. Okay. It's just not enough of them. And I can tell because ain't nothing changed. Ain't nothing changed. So stay tuned. Peace out. Real talk. Real for real right now. You heard me? Y'all have a good one.